Cara Donatelli, Executive Director of the Sampson Arts Council. For today's Local Artist Spotlight, we are joining you from the Victor R. Small House, which is the home of the Sampson Arts Council. And it's located at 709 College Street in downtown Clinton. The home was purchased by Dr. Small in 1924, and he practiced medicine here until his death in 1971. In 2006, the house was deeded to the Sampson Arts Council. Many of you may not know that Dr. Small was also a poet and author. He wrote 4 books of poetry and a novel. I have them here with me today. There's 3 books of the poetry here, and this is the novel. And the novel is actually at our local library here in Clinton. And you can't check it out, but you can go and read it there at the library. Because of our history of poetry here at the Small House, we're excited to have a poet and author who is a native of Roseboro with us today, Miss Valawaugn McCain. Hi, Valawaugn.
Hey, how are you?
It's so great to have you here with us today.
It's so good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, of course, like you said, my name is Valawaugn McCain. I am from Roseboro, North Carolina, where we call High Smithside. And I am a mother of 3, a 25-year-old, 23-year-old, and an 18-year-old. What else would you like to know?
Well, you grew up in Roseboro.
Yes.
And went to Lakewood High School?
Graduated in 1996.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so then tell us maybe a little bit about how you became interested in poetry.
Well, I first started, you know how you do roses are red, violets are blue when you're little. And then as I got to high school in English class, we had to recite poetry. And so then every time, I was feeling down in the dumps or didn't feel good, I would always go and write my thoughts, and my thoughts became poetry. Right. And then as I got older, I began to want to write even more. Then I laid it down for a little while, and I went through a terrible divorce. And I ended up being a part of a natural hair group. And we went to our first poetry event in Fayetteville called the Marquise Market, which is a slam event that we have. And it was like the doors opened and I was back into writing poetry again.
That is awesome. Oh, cool. Well, tell me, I know that you are an author as well.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your book.
Well, my book is Fight for Your Life, The Journey. It is a book about my life, living with cancer. I was diagnosed with stage 3 astrocytoma brain tumor. The doctors had given me 3 to 5 years to live, and I've been living 25 years, so I'm blessed to be here.
Good for you.
So I wrote the book. The book basically is a culmination of how I felt going through cancer. A lot of times people can't display or relay how they're feeling when you get a diagnosis of you're gonna die.
Right.
And that's exactly how the doctor came in. He was like, okay, you have stage 3 brain cancer and you have 3 to 5 years to live. And I was 19 years old with a 6-day-old son, and you're telling me that I'm gonna die. So years later, I put it into words. And how I felt, my hair came out, radiation, chemotherapy, how I felt going through it. So then I wrote a book stating, what I went through, and then it has like a journal in the back of it, you can see.
Oh, nice.
With little prompts in it that, okay, how am I feeling today?
Neat.
It has aspirations of, I always wake up every morning and I say, nothing will happen to me today that God does not allow. And if he allows it, he'll allow me to go through it. And sometimes we need those affirmations to be able to get through our day. Exactly. And so this is just a little tidbit of what people can do, say, just to kind of boost their self-esteem. Because when you go through cancer, you feel like you're all alone. You feel like you're by yourself, even though you know you're not.
Right.
You just feel that way because nobody seems to understand what toll it takes on your body, what toll it takes on your mental state, on your emotions. So I just wanted to give a tidbit of how I felt living with cancer and having to go back to school on my senior year after having a baby and then being diagnosed with no hair, having to wear hats, and they were saying, you know, why do she have to wear a hat? We can't wear hats, and going through all of that. Most of my friends understood, but there was a lot of emotional things that I had to endure, trying to go back to school and scared I wasn't going to graduate. Luckily I did, but scared I wasn't going to be able to, you know, walk the stage, because sometimes I couldn't do my assignments because going through brain cancer is a serious thing. Right. Yeah.
And the book was like a therapy for you.
Well, the book came a whole lot later.
It
was actually prophesied to me that I would write a book.
Nice.
And I was like, who, me? Not me. At that time, I had not went through school. I had not went to college. It was prophesied to me early on. And I'm like, you talking about me? Not me. I'm not doing it. But later on, God gave me the courage to put it in words. That's what I did.
Well, congratulations. That's
awesome.
Thank you. And so how could someone purchase your book?
You can purchase my book from Barnes & Noble and from Amazon. If you go on, and you can actually go on my Facebook page at Valawaugn Blackman. You can inbox me. You can get a signed copy that way, but you can purchase it on Barnes & Noble and on Amazon.
Awesome.
And it's called Fight for Your Life, The Journey.
That is so great. Well, then tell us, too, a little bit more about with your poetry. You started out here in Sampson County at some different venues. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I started out with poetry, spoken word poetry with a twist. How that came about is my brother, LJ. We call him LJ. His name is Lejeune Bowens from Fayetteville. We were talking one night from an event that he had called Verses. And I said, LJ, what do you think about me starting my own event in Sampson County? Because, you know, I live there and I really want to bring something different, something unique to Sampson County. There's nothing to do. I'm not a clubbing person. I don't go to bars and drink. You know, I'm not that type of person, but I wanted to open up something that people could come, sit down, have a meal, hear some poetry, and then, you know, go back home and feel like they've done something. They had a night out, so to speak, a date night, so to speak, or just friends, birthday parties, or whatever. And so my first actual event was at Railroad Street Steakhouse. We had it in June of 2015. That was my very first event, and it was a packed house. I had over 80 people to come that night, and I was like, Lord, really? Little old me. They packed the house, and it was such a relief, because I had worked so hard trying to get it to go through and trying to get sponsors and trying to get different things, but it worked out really, really well. Then that was my first event, and then Railroad Street Steakhouse, from there I moved it to Oasis here in Clinton the next year, and it ran at Oasis for probably about 2 or 3 times. And then, of course, Ribeye Steakhouse built on their room. And so I went and I talked to the owners. There was a chef there, Benjamin. I talked to him and I said, you know, could I have a poetry event here? Can you talk to the owners to see if I can have something like that here? And he did. And they let me run it for about 3 years at Ribeye's Steakhouse.
That is great.
And that's where it has been until, of course, the pandemic happened.
Well, that is awesome. You've had sounds like such a positive effect on Sampson County as an artist, a poet, and an author, and we're excited that you're here with us today. And I know you have some poetry to share with us.
Yes, I do.
So thank you again for coming.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Sampson Arts Council is proud to present the poetry of Miss Valawaugn McCain.
Have you ever had that relationship, you know, where you thought it was going to work, but it didn't work, and now you're single? You know, a lot of us go through singleness, and sometimes we don't know how to take it. Here's a poem that I wrote even in my singleness. It seems that you escape me with every corner. You turn, I turn, thinking that I finally have you. To my surprise, you're gone, and all I see is a mirror image of me. You come quick for some and others not at all. You're lazy. Not wanting to fight for anything but taking everything. You love less and use more, and then you become useless. Not wanting anything nor proving anything, just wasteful of time and energy. And you know how I don't like wasting my time or my energy. I'm tired. Tired of the words but no actions. The actions of your ignorance makes me ponder, makes me slow down my quest to a halt, to a walk, to a crawl. There is no need to seek after you when you don't see my worth or the strength within my soul. You are weak as a leaf in the wind. You could not possibly carry me or even hold me, so I'll wait. Wait for the one who sees the diamond within the coals on the surface. Until then, I will see you in the shadows. I will see you in my dreams, hear you in the rain. I will wait for you to join me, hand in hand. You will be my true relationship. Ladies, I know we have a lot of times that we look at ourselves and we see maybe you're too big, maybe you're too little, maybe you've had that relationship and maybe it was even an abusive relationship and you were called damaged goods or you were good for nothing. This is for you. This is a time when I felt like I was flawless with flaws. I am flawless with flaws. I am the epitome of broken pieces with goods that are damaged. But I am a masterpiece with broken pieces. I am mercy renewed and grace sufficient. I am the never loved but loved by God. The one that cries at night and smiles in the day. I am the flawless with flaws. I am the discarded, the overlooked. I am the pushed aside, but I am bold and I am beautiful. I am valuable like time and eternity. I am queen. I am rest. I am peace. I am love. I am full, but yet so empty. I am flawless with flaws. You look at me and you may see beauty, or you may look at me and see crazy, but what you will not see is defeat. And you will never see failure. I am a champion. I may be beaten and battered or bruised, but I am also bold and real and true. So call me what you want. Call me what you will. I am God's masterpiece, flawless with flaws still. Because of everything that's going on in the world, I thought it was fitting to say this one. Whether you're big, whether you're little, whether you're, rich or whether you're poor, whether you are black, white, green, yellow, we all are God's masterpieces. You are the air we breathe like a baby taking his first breath. Your words wrap around every muscle, tendon, and ligament like fabric being woven with every stitch crocheted and stitched with God's hand and painted with his fingers of love. We are his handiwork. With different color hues, we are his masterpiece, his mosaic stained glass that shows his reflection, for we are made in his image. Finely dressed in purple and silver and gold, he covers our heads with adornments of scarlet. His blood shed that we might live. Yes, we are his masterpiece. A mosaic puzzle, not perfect, but made perfect in him. Our soul holds the key to the heavenly realm, and Jesus Christ is the lock, and in him is the door. He is our brother, our mother, our father, our master, our friend. We are his masterpieces. 10 fingers, 2 hands, anointed to heal every touch, his transference of his anointing us for service. 10 toes, 2 feet. We are prepared where he leads us to march in his army, preparing the way to victory. We are his masterpiece, glass pieces of a mosaic puzzle showing his reflection as we are made in his own image. Beautiful as the clear blue sky and as the star-lit night. We have been covered by his glory, a masterpiece of peace that surpasses all our understanding, and a glove nicely fitted to overshadow us with his hand, to hold us, to carry us, to save us. We are his masterpiece. So as you walk along life's journey, know that people you see may be friends, may be family, even may be frenemies, with different color hues, we all are his masterpieces. In a time where I thought that I had fallen from grace, so to speak. I had just went through a divorce, and I was very angry at God at the way my life was going, and I was left with nothing and 3 small children. And so I did everything I thought I was big and bad enough to do. And so I found myself in a place, even in ministry, where I just didn't know how to get back to him. So this is a poem entitled On My Way Back to Him. Have you ever met someone when you were a child? You grew up with them, talked to them, even prayed with them. He was your everything, still is, I might add, but somehow you got disconnected. The trials came like a thief in the night. It stole your love for him and replaced it with anger and disbelief. You tried to fight it, but the tribulations came like cancer eating away at your heart. You began to let your longing for love and acceptance to be the rope around your neck, choking you with every breath you breathe. The more you seem to sink in depression, in quicksand, because the quicksand is quickly drowning you into your own sorrows and guilt. The scars on your body and electrical currents of epilepsy seizing every opportunity to shake the very life you're trying to live from you. But wait. You must remember the late night prayers that produce healing. All the times you fasted and it produced results. Is there a road etched in my heart, engulfed in my soul? X marks the spot to get back to him. Can therefore be grace to cover me and mercy to plead for me? Will faith say it's possible and love lead me back to him? Father, I know I have sinned, unworthy of your love for me. You said yourself I was born in sin and shapen in iniquity, this wretched that I am. Will you mend my heart and change my mind? For you are God, my master, my king, my God of everything. You are. Breathe on me. Let the breath of your nostrils consume me with fire of your spirit, that the mantle I carry be one worthy as I preach in your name. Revive me again as I lay hands on the sick and recover. Revive me again as I open blind eyes. Revive me again as I unstop deaf ears. Let your presence abide with me. Let your words be iron like the refiner's fire, created by you and consumed by me as I come back to you. Have you ever been invisible to some people? Felt like you were invisible anyway? You know, sometimes we get in relationships and people want us to be what they want us to be, not necessarily what we are. You know, sometimes they want us to dress a certain way, be a certain way, because that's the way they see us. However, I wrote a poem that says, "Do you see what I see?" Because I want people to see, and I know it's all of you may want people to see you as you are. So this is, do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? Can you see what's in my heart? To do the will of the Father, to love like he loves in every way. With each passing day, I strive to be more than just a simple entity. I am fearfully and wonderfully made, from my caramel skin to the jewel within. But can you see my heart? There's a little girl inside that I cannot hide. There's a desire no one has felt to be loved. That's what's real. With every heartbreak and every pain, I digress. Because the stress is so overwhelming, I just want to be me instead of how people want me to be. I want to be free. Free to choose my own path, not the one chosen by the thoughts of man, but by the thoughts of God. With every step, a new destiny I face. Whether it brings joy or pain, sunshine or rain, I will state my claim. Can you see what's in my heart? Do you see what I see? As was stated earlier, I have been through a lot, as you can tell from my poems, a whole lot. But I was diagnosed at 19 with a astrocytoma. And when I began my poetry journey over again, I began to think what my signature piece would be. Now, a signature piece is a piece that every poet reads that they may have had for years, and it tells a little bit about themselves. So this is my signature piece. They said I wouldn't make it. They said I wouldn't be here today. They said I never amount to anything. Like the hands of time, I unwind my thoughts and my memories. It's clear to me like looking through an hourglass with no figure. How do you figure this melody that I sing? The music that rings in the air like similes, how they never fade away. My memories. I used to be 5'8", 110 pounds. My mind still surrounds those memories. My life changed forever. And now it has become my memories of laying on that bed, almost dead, trying to give birth. 19 hours and a C-section. He's finally here. Only to be told 6 days later that I wouldn't see your face. Maybe 3 years, maybe 5, but never anything more. You see, I was dying. A vegetable they told me I would be. Dying of cancer, there was no answer they could give me except stage 3 brain cancer, and the answer was radiation and chemotherapy. Deep in the abyss, in the pits of hell, I fell with no one to catch me. 6 weeks of radiation, 4 months of chemotherapy. I called out to God for help. As my head pounded, I became dumbfounded with the words the doctor spoke to me. I'm only 19, I said. I'm a senior in high school. I want to go to college, as I laid on that hospital bed. But then a hand of the man I called God came out and caught me. They didn't know, but God said no. Looking back on those memories, I can clearly see that I'm blessed. Blessed beyond measure, blessed in my going out and in my coming in. He is truly my best friend. You shall live and not die, he told me. The memories of screws in my head as I was awake with a halo on it as doctors drilled A, B, C, D, E, F, G. They asked me if I would recite my alphabet. Better yet, did I know where I was at? They said I would make it. I can't fake it, the pain I feel each day as I awake with left-sided seizures, sometimes so bad that I wish I was dead, but then I think on everything that I ask God for. God, keep me here until my 6-day-old son is grown, so that no one would have to raise him, so that he won't be alone, because nobody will do him like mama. They said I wouldn't make it. Now as my mind travels back in time and present, I can't help but unwind the essence of time and dissect it. Because what you see as simple, I see as refined, and what you see as petty, I see as divine, as the maker that fashioned me and placed me in the essence of time and not in eternity. They said I wouldn't make it, but what did they know? 25 years later, I'm still here. Not living in fear, but living in the moment that the Creator has given me. So they said I wouldn't make it. Now the doctors stand in amazement. This is my here. This is my now. Those were just my memories. They said I wouldn't make it. They said I wouldn't be here today. They said I never amount to anything. But I'm glad to say that I'm on my way. I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here to stay. Thank you, and thank you to the Arts Council for having me.
Once again, we'd like to thank you for joining us today for our local artist spotlight featuring Miss Valawaugn McCain, our local poet. We were so excited to have her with us today. She did such an amazing job.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you to our production crew. We would also like to thank Star Communications and Star Cable TV for broadcasting today's program. You may also view this broadcast online anytime on the Sampson Arts Council's YouTube channel. This project was supported by the North Carolina Arts Council, a division of the Department of Natural and Cultural Resources. For more information on upcoming events and classes, and to become a member of the Sampson Arts Council, visit our website, www.sampsonarts.net. Thank you for tuning in today, and we appreciate your support of the arts in Sampson County.